Hello, welcome to what has been a highly requested tutorial for something that I think can be useful to a lot of crafters if they don't want to spend a lot of time creating their own SVGs, but they need a certain image just converted from a file that they might already have, a PNG file or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in an image to show you as an example. This image that I'm bringing in is one of my designs, but I just changed it up a little bit to reflect something that you may find. So here's the image I've got. You can see that it's got nice thick black lines on it, but it's also got this background. So I'm going to move it around so you can kind of see it. It's got a checkerboard background, which normally signifies something transparent, but every now and then you'll find an image that has an actual checkerboard setting as its background, and you might want to remove that and layer this image. So what we're going to do is click this image, and we are going to go to Path and Trace Bitmap. Now, before we get started on this, I just want to say, I know that a lot of people will go onto Google or another search site and they will pull up like a coloring page. So this tutorial would also work for something like that. And I also want to make sure you know that if you are planning to use this information and be selling SVG files, this is not the way to do it. I would not go on Google and just perform this bitmap trace, layer it, and then sell it. Please make sure that you're only selling any files that you've made on your own. Okay. And which is this ice cream truck is something that I have made. So if you want this ice cream truck, it is available for sale on my website. Okay. So let's click the image. Now we've gone into the Trace Bitmap menu, which is over here. So right here in Preview, you're going to see what you're going to get if you leave the settings as is. Now, if you find an image that's got really nice dark black lines, usually the settings that it's on will work pretty well. Let me leave it here and click Apply and show you what happens. So we click Apply. Now you've got, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to pull this off. Now you have got an SVG. You can see down here below that, down here where it says path 619 nodes, that means a path means that this is an SVG. So if I go up here and I click this, see how it says image and then it shows its dimensions? This is a path, which means it's an SVG file. If you load this into the Cricut machine right now, it will cut as is. Now, what I don't like is that up here, I'm able to do the wheels as a different color, whereas here they're just a solid black. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to change the settings on this bitmap trace so that I can get my wheels cut out. So up here at threshold, I'm just going to click it down until that preview shows those wheels cut out. There we go. So now you can see right here, you can't see any of that black inside the wheel. So I'm going to click Apply. And now I've got this great, I'm going to delete this original image. Delete. I've got this great, clean, black outline SVG file. Now, if you're more comfortable with it, you can bring this right into Design Space as is, and you can layer it the way that you've always layered, however you've done it. But I'm going to show you how to layer this image right here in Inkscape. So I'm going to bring it down here where you can see it really well. I'm going to get out of the Trace Bitmap tab. So what I'm going to click, or I'm sorry, what I'm going to type, Control-Shift-K. So what that's going to do is it's going to break apart this SVG. So I'm going to pull this top layer off just to show you what happened, but we're going to leave it on top. So I'm going to pull this off. So now you've got this solid black background piece here, and then you've got all these other pieces in here separated out. Now, the problem is they're all black, so I'm going to press Control-Z to put them all back. I can't discern one piece from another because they're all black. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire thing. I'm going to go up to Extensions, Arrange, and Restack. Now, if you want to take a look at this prompt right here, these are the settings that I have it on. You want it based on position, direction, left to right, horizontal left, vertical top, and click Apply. Now, if you have a lot of layers or it's kind of a complicated image, this could take a few seconds. So just give it some time and then hit close once it's done. What that has done is it has changed the order that these are displaying. So remember before when I clicked the top and pulled it off, it was the bottom background. Now if I click the top, I'm going to get these smaller pieces first. What it's done is it's sent that background to the back. So I'm going to put all these back. I'm just pressing Control Z to put them all back. So what I'll do now is select the entire thing. I'm going to scroll up to one of the edges so I can really see what I'm working with. And I'm going to click Shift, and then I'm going to click that black background. So what that has done, I'm going to zoom out. What that has done is I now have everything selected except for that black background. Now I'm going to change it to a color that I can see. I'm going to choose this lime green. So now I've got all my pieces on top and they're in this kind of funky color that I'm not going to miss. If I have a piece that I haven't changed, this color will kind of stand out. Now what I have to go through and do is slice out the pieces that need to be sliced into these. For example, you know what? Let me bring that image back in so you can sort of see in comparison. Here we go. So you can see here, we need this window cut out. And we also aren't seeing our handle and our front window. So what I'll do is I'll take these two big pieces and I'm going to change them to a different color. I'll change them to this fuchsia color. So you can see we have all these pieces here. They were just all the same color. So I'm going to start with I'll start with our front window. So, oops, let's move that down. So what you've got here is two pieces. You have the inner window and you have the outer window. I'm going to change the inner window to a different color. I'll change it to red so you can see what I'm talking about. Inner window, outer window. Take the outer window, select Shift, and select the layer below it. So you've got the outer window, and then you've got the big piece that it's on top of. What we're going to do is we're going to slice this green piece into this bigger fuchsia piece. So we're going to press Control minus, and that's going to slice it out. So now you've got your window, and then you've got empty space. So this is going to be the same. If you're doing like a character and they have an eye, this is what you'll do with their eyes. Anything that is cut into one of the existing pieces. Let's do the same on the handle here. I'm going to change this inner handle to blue so it looks different. So you have your outer piece, which is your black outline, and then you have your inner piece. We're going to take that outer piece, press Shift, and select the piece underneath it. Control minus, and that will slice that out, and now you've got the window and you've got the handle. We'll move over here to this window. Same thing. I'm going to select this very outside piece. I'm going to change that to red so you can see. So what you can see here is that, oops, if I select this red piece, it's that whole entire backdrop to the window. Okay, so we're going to select Shift, we're going to select this red piece, and we're going to select the piece that it's on, and we're going to hit Control minus. Okay, let's go down to the wheels. I'll change these outer wheels to red so we can see better. And then we'll change the inner wheels to blue. So same here, we're going to take this piece. You want to select the piece that's supposed to be the outline, what you're going to see in black. So we're going to slice this green piece into this red piece. Press Shift and Control minus to slice. Same thing over here. Shift, Control minus. Okay. So now the way we have this set up, it's good as is. Now in this original file, I made this window completely see-through. So you can see the checkerboard background shows. If you wanted to leave this piece right here, you could just make it blue or whatever color you wanted. But what I'll do is I will take this piece, I will select it, and I will select the black background, and then press Control minus. And that will slice that piece into the black background. So now you can see the checkerboard through the back. And from here, you can go through and, oh, well, let me show you this. Underneath this ice cream cone here, you have this. I want to see through right here. I want there to be nothing here. So I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to take the black background, so both are selected at the same time. And I'm going to press Control minus. And now that's sliced through. Okay, so now you've got this image completely layered, and you can go through and change your color. So I'm just going to do that very quickly. If you want a tutorial on changing the colors, I do have one of those on my channel right now. So let me just go through quickly and change these colors. Now, what you're not going to get from this function, which is why this isn't really like an end-all type of function. I wouldn't recommend it, again, if this is something you want to do to sell. It's not a perfect system. The reason why this one worked so well is because it was a perfectly clear image with a solid black outline. But what you'll see here is in the original image, this ice cream cone has all this detail. The trace bitmap function is not going to pick something like that up. It's only going to pick up these darker colors that are a high contrast against the rest of the colors. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this original image, and we've got this one here. Now, let me show you how to save this so that you have an SVG and you have a PNG. Now, at this point, you could go through here and group together whatever you wanted grouped. I'm not going to do that in this video. I can do it in another one. So we're going to select our ice cream truck, and we're going to press Control-Shift-D. That's going to bring up your Document Properties tab. So with your truck selected, you're going to press this button right here. It says Resize to Content. We're going to click that. And now we're going to exit out of this. So what it did was it took this page outline and it shrunk it down just to fit this on there. Now what that will do is when you have a thumbnail of this image, you will see the truck. You won't see it off some, you won't see just the corner. And from there, you can save. Now, when you save an Inkscape, you get an SVG file. So you don't have to export it as an SVG. An Inkscape file is an SVG file. But now we need a PNG. So we're going to select our ice cream truck again. We're going to press Control-Shift-E. That will bring up the export menu. So we'll show you a little preview right here of your truck. Now, up here, you have Document, Page, Selection, and Custom. You want Selection. That's going to export just what's selected, and that's what you see here. Now, if you want this to be a high-resolution image, it has to be 300 dpi or higher. 300 is a good number because it keeps the file size low. But if you are going to do a very large printout, like say you're going to do something huge, like for the side of a bouncy house or something, it would benefit you to do a higher DPI and just have a bigger file size. But if you want high resolution and you want a small file size, 300 is good. So 300 and enter, and you'll see that's going to change the width and the height to make it a bigger image. And then down here, just choose your export folder, name it, and then export the file. And now that's exported into whatever folder you chose. That's exported as a high-resolution PNG file. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know it went a little bit quickly, but it's a pretty simple process. You can do this with basically any image that you find. I also do have to say, please do not do this to remove backgrounds and watermarks from existing creators' designs. That is really not what this is for. This is more for if you want to do something for personal use, for one of your own craft projects, and you have an image, say, of a character or something that you found that has a background that you want to layer. If you want to learn how to change the colors, I do have a video on that, and I do have other videos coming to show you a couple of the other functions in Inkscape, like grouping and things like that. Thanks so much for watching.